of 103. That's a long way from Mr. Pym's dozen. This is the Ministry of Defence in London, where we have sought cooperation in making this documentary. We did get permission to film at 3 British installations, and the Ministry Public Relations man offered us government film, some of it 14 years old. The British public, he said with a laugh, would not know the difference. I asked to interview the Secretary of State, Mr. Knott, but this was refused. Instead, I was offered what is called an unattributable briefing. Sorry, I've broken rule number 1 in telling you that. As my colleagues and I were led upstairs by the public relations man, Mr. Ian MacDonald of Falklands fame, Mr. MacDonald laid out the rules. You cannot, he said, name the man you're about to see. You cannot report to anyone what he tells you. You cannot say it came from the government. You cannot say it came from a Whitehall source, or a NATO source, or a Western source. Later I asked him, are you saying this briefing did not happen? You've got it, he replied. Fylingdale's early warning base in Yorkshire, where they are trained to give us an early warning of a nuclear attack. 3 times a week they play a game here, which seems to be called Confidence High. The people at Fylingdale's refer to it as the all-singing, all-dancing show. If the game had been a reality, there would now be about 8 minutes to impact of the first nuclear bomb to hit Britain.
SDTOs, bearing 060, range 800 miles. UK United.
This is the SDO. Confidence report now. Confidence report now.
MIP confidence high, sir. My confidence high.
Thank you. High all air check. Confidence high. Inform missile warning. Inform center.
Hello, Mr. Warning, this is Fylingdale. We have an IRBM in the system, and our confidence is high.
This is the SDO. Confidence report.
Roger, Whiskey Echo Echo.
UK standards informed.
Missile warning informed, sir.
Thank you.
"5 minutes to impact. All they can do is wait, and in all probability, we would know nothing about it." Early morning London, now only 1 minute to impact. A child of Hiroshima wrote, "It was a nice day. I was playing outdoors when I saw a sudden flash. Fire broke out everywhere. Our house and gate were burned down before I knew it. Then we went under a bridge. There were many people there dying from burns. When I came back, Daddy was dead. A few days later, Mummy died too. My sister and I cried to ourselves." This diagram, inspired by the book London After the Bomb, shows you second by second how London would be destroyed. Immediately after detonation, a flash of light will blind anyone looking at it. Within 3 seconds, clothes are burned off, all exposed skin is charred. Within 12 seconds, there are winds of up to 200 miles an hour. Cars are tossed about like toys, and people like dolls. Survivors are crushed or trapped inside their houses. As far away as 8 miles, people are blinded and receive second-degree burns. And this is the effect of only a 1-megaton bomb. And such a small bomb, it has been calculated, will make a crater large enough to swallow 10 Wembley stadiums. Of course, the only real evidence we have are the survivors of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
The whole city was on fire. The faces were so badly burnt, it was impossible to tell whether they were men or women.
I noticed my face was swelling, getting so big I couldn't see. And my hands swelling like balloons. I couldn't grasp anything, couldn't reach the children.
We looked for survivors, dragging them from the wreckage, but their skin was so badly burned, it was actually melting. Limbs came away in our hands.
Nuclear war is becoming big business, a rare growth area. Indeed, you can now get a building society mortgage for a fallout shelter. Unfortunately, there is no guarantee that it will work. Some people, of course, won't need a mortgage because we have already paid for their shelter.
I'll go over there.
Beneath these flats is a nuclear bunker in South London, typical of cosy bunkers throughout Britain. It is not for the use of people living in the flats, which will collapse in a nuclear attack. Of course, the bunker is designed not to collapse and is only for police, military, and public servants. The government's published civil defense plans, called Protect and Survive, tell you to tape up the handles of your toilet and get in lots of tin soup and put your head in a bag. Like being snowed in at Christmas, nuclear war sounds almost fun. However, there are no evacuation plans, and this means that most of the population is to be sacrificed and that the establishment will outlive the people. Parks, commons, even your local golf course have been secretly designated areas for mass graves. What all this reveals is that civil defense is simply a propaganda term and that preparing us for war is the real aim.
The most widespread danger from nuclear explosions is fallout. Fallout is dust that is sucked up from the ground by the explosion. Fallout can kill. Since it can be carried for great distances by the wind, it can eventually settle anywhere. So no place in the United Kingdom is safer than any other.
In this Home Office film, the buildings are miraculously untouched, and of course nothing looks like Hiroshima. Its main aim is to pacify us and to keep us literally in our place.
Stay where you are. If you leave your home, your local authority may take it over for homeless families. And if you move, the authorities in the new place will not help you with food, accommodation, or other essentials. You are better off in your own home. Stay there.
A Home Office circular to local authorities states that the first aim of civil defence is to control public dissent. With a nuclear attack imminent, the Cabinet will approve Queen's Order 2, the suspension of Parliament and democracy. In the Police Manual of Home Defence, a restricted document, priority is given before an attack to detention or restriction of movement of subversive or potentially subversive people. Lowest on the list is advice to the rest of the population on how to survive. This is the Land Battle Tactics Manual of the British Armed Forces for the year 1960. On page 12 it says this: nuclear weapons of varying yields will be used in large but not unlimited numbers. In other words, the planning for a limited nuclear war in Europe began at least 22 years ago. But hadn't we been led to believe that nuclear war as a practical military option is only a recent development? And was there any debate at the time in Parliament and the press? No, there was not. It says here, restricted. the information given in this document is not to be communicated either directly or indirectly to the press or to any person not authorized to receive it. And that meant